Multiple hostiles incoming.
What in God's name is that?
Making things takes other things. It takes creativity, takes inspiration, and it takes time. In fact, that's a big one, time. Generally, the more of it you spend on something, the better it's going to turn out, right? Well, except for when it turns out worse. That's because there's a tipping point. And the correlation between the time you spend on something and the quality of that thing starts to change. Like the military's response to the Roswell incident. The Army said it was a flying saucer!
We've been intercepting these signals for the past 6 months.
This game deals with both concepts, the inverse correlation between time and quality, as well as the fascination with flying saucers and little green men that defined so much of American culture after World War II. So this one's right in my wheelhouse. I used to study UFO history, fun fact, and I review video games. So I know all about modern development trends leading to disappointing products, as illustrated by the Bureau, XCOM Declassified.
Drop it! What the hell?
So XCOM, right? Yeah, this is a prequel of sorts. It's also the coolest thing about this game. The Bureau takes place in 1962, and although that's about a decade later than would have been ideal, it still sets the right stage. Turns out, despite what you've read in Project Blue Book, stories are true. Aliens are here, and they're attacking. Plays a special agent who's suddenly caught in the middle of it. And more than anything else, that's what this game gets right. Setting and contrast. It does a great job of capturing the zeitgeist of the 1960s. Huge computers take up entire rooms inside secret military bases, where manly men have manly discussions through clouds of smoke and testosterone. Early 60s Americana sets the stage for alien gunfights, which is where the contrast works so well. A small college town, like something out of Animal House. A rural farm with a silo and a windmill, and now a strange alien pod and a huge spaceship. It creates this awesome contrast between history and fantasy, old and new. I think that's easily the most interesting thing about the Bureau.
Nils, get back! Just hang on, sir. It's gonna be... okay!
You know, that's not to take away from the gameplay either. In terms of its design, this is a competent tactical shooter. You control a small team of agents, each with their own skills and attributes, and you won't get far without them. I mean, they're just about useless without your orders, but once you actually start to give them some direction, that's when things get fun. Well, and once we steal their technology. So the tactical element is cool, the theme is great, the game controls well. Why all the babble about the inverse relationship between time and quality, right? Where does the Bureau go wrong? Well, this isn't a poorly designed game, it's just a poorly made one. The Bureau spent several years in development, and then in redevelopment, before finally being reworked into something different again. Point is, this just has the feel of a game that was torn apart and put back together like 37 times before it finally stuck. I mean, from a technical perspective, the game's a mess. And there's also some stuff that just feels tacked on, like the dialogue wheels. It feels like parts of a different game shoehorned into this one. That's a classic symptom of overdevelopment. You know, I had some fun with the game, but I'm not sure if that's because of the game or my geekiness for that old UFO culture. I loved shooting a pistol at aliens with plasma rifles. I loved scheming, bad as I am at it. I really loved the idea, but that's the thing. The Bureau XCOM Declassified has a lot of ideas. Several years worth of ideas. It feels like several months worth of polish.